Hey y'all, Bay here, bringing you Captain Tsubasa Dream Team, and today I'm going to be doing the evaluation on this time's new 2006 characters. So this time there's 3 field players and 1 goalie, and well, for me I got 2 goalies, yeah man. Anyways, so look at the Excels, see for yourselves. So Matsuyama is really unique, as you guys all know. It's a matchup win bonus 100%, 200%, which is 2 times. So as a result, his offensive stats will go up to like 11,000 to for shot it's almost like 14k. So it could be he can be used as an offensive character, as you can see. But one thing you have to be careful is when without this passive, he is really weak. So even if you try to shoot over like some tackle character of the opponent, he might be caught because of such a low stats. So you have to be careful on that. And I did the verification already on this Matsuyama, and I wanted to know in what kind of like situation will this passive be activated. And I noticed that if this Matsuyama gets the ball away from the opponent, and because he wins the matchup, he already has the buff, even though the offense and defense side switches. So that would be the best way. So get the ball from the opponent and then keep it with Matsuyama. Then you already have this very right cell stats. Or another way might be bring the ball up with some other character, and when you see that Matsuyama is pretty close to the goal, like a little bit outside of the penalty box or somewhere, pass to Matsuyama. But that's only if you know that the opponent that's close to this Matsuyama has no block or like good tackle or interception, okay? And then match up against the opponent, this weak defender character, and then shoot right away from there. Yeah. Because if the opponent doesn't have block, I don't think with weak tackles or interceptions, this shot will not be blocked, right? So that means at the matchup, this guy Matsuyama does not have any buff, but when it reaches the goalie, it will be twice the strength. So yeah, that is another way. But I think at the end, most people will probably use this Matsuyama as a defender. I mean, not a defender. He can't do DF. He can only do AM or DM, but as a defensive character, because there's too much risk, I think. Yeah, it's hard to use. Plus, another thing that really makes people have hard time about this Matsuyama is so this guy's skill, green, right? So if you are to put this guy in, most people will have to take out Fes Matsuyama, who is good now. He has like so many good hidden abilities, like that buffs Japanese by 1%, or like has 80% recover, or like 5% to everyone, auto intercept, enhance, right? So these will be these will be gone if you are to put this Matsuyama. Plus, I think many people that's using Fes Matsuyama is using him as a defender rather than DM. So by putting this Matsuyama in, not only you'll have to take out Fes Matsuyama, but also you'll have to bring another DF, because this Matsuyama can't do DF, right? And another thing is, there's already so many good AM and DM for skill Japanese. For AM, it will be Misaki, Tsubasa, Roberto, or Aoi, or I can't remember who, but yeah, or like Tachibana Dream Collection, Tachibana Twin, and DM, there's a lot, like Takeshi 97, Misugi, Izawa, a lot, right? And for Misugi DM, you can't get this guy, you can't change this guy's position. He can only do DM, so he has to stay there even if you're using 2 DM formation, and that means Takeshi will have to go to OMF or AM, and if you want to put this Matsuyama to DM, which I think many people will most likely do, and then that means we'll have to take away Roberto, Tsubasa, Misaki, and one the best solution I think is to put Roberto to forward, and whoever the forward other than Hyuga will have to go to bench, and keep Tsubasa, Misaki, and Takeshi. Yeah. So that's the difficult part. So if you think about the trade-off of taking away Fes Matsuyama by putting this guy in, although this guy I think is good and unique at the same time, he can do everything if the condition is met. But I think if you think about the trade-off, the gap of putting this new Matsuyama to the team is not that big. Yeah. Or for some people maybe, they might even think Fes Matsuyama is better. Yeah, so that's the hard part about this guy, I think. Yeah, this guy is good for sure. This guy is good and very unique. And as you can see on the bottom, if you raise this guy's shot, at the beginning without the passive, it's only 30k. So it's gonna be tough. But once you get the passive boost, it's gonna be 63k and above. Plus, because I received a comment recently that for this type of big boost characters, you might wanna think about limit break. So it's a bit you can't see everything, but it's in the parentheses, not parentheses. I forgot bracket. 77k. That's when you do shot and power 100%. 77. But of course, my past excels were all based without limit breaks or like hidden abilities or team skills, right? So it's hard to compare this 77k. Is this good, right? But I did a little math for Fes Wakashimazu. That guy has Japanese killer or Asia killer, so that will be activated against this Matsuyama, right? And he originally, without limit break, has somewhere around 75k against Japanese, okay? 75. But that's when Matsuyama has 63. That's even, right? Without limit break for both characters. But if you do limit break for this Matsuyama, this guy will be 77, and Wakashimazu will be like 85. That means the difference is 8,000 after the limit break. Whereas before the limit break, the difference between this Matsuyama and Wakashimazu was 12k. So that 12k becomes 8k, which means it's really, a limit break for this type of big boost characters is there is a meaning, and because this guy has advantage against Wakashimazu in terms of color, this guy might really threaten Wakashimazu, or of course Wakabayashi, because he doesn't get the passive boost. So yeah, so this guy, even as a shooter, it is worth maybe raising, but be careful, because it will be threatening, I think, but it's not like super OP shot or anything. So if you already have other shooter characters, then you don't have to raise this. Yeah, it doesn't have to be him, is my opinion. Okay, so that was Matsuyama. And then Misugi. Misugi 2006 is like this. So he has it says red Japanese, but that's a mistake. It's a blue Japanese link, his passive, 15%. So if you can put him in a blue Japanese team, he'll basically maintain this very right cell stats. And I think that's gonna be, that's gonna happen. Whoever's gonna be using this Misugi will have the link on. So it's gonna be the very right cell. So the point that you can maintain this stats all the way through is something really good. Like 2006 Misaki or Rising Sun Schneider, right? These characters, they could maintain this really high stats all the time. That's good. But this Misugi, his position is AM and DM, and he's more of an offensive character, and his main skill is shot. However, look at the bottom. Even if you do 99 for his main skill, it's gonna only reach 60k, 60,800 only. And frankly speaking, today I don't think this will make a goal of top tier goalies today. Yeah. But because this guy has good for volley, if you can bring the super stuff Misugi's S volley to this guy and make it level 99, it can reach 65k, which will threaten top tier goalies. So my opinion personally, I don't have this character, so I'm just gonna imagine and say it, but I think if you want to like make this character a shooter, then I would go with volley. Although this guy can't do forward, and it's hard for like AM characters to go into the penalty box. But even with that, I would raise volley than the ground shot, because 60k today is not that great, to be honest. And what's bad about Misugi is that he doesn't have a really powerful skill. His stats are actually pretty good, but because his skills aren't that great, even, if you look at the dribble and pass, it only reaches like late 40k. Although his stats are exceeding like 11k. And the reason is because simply drive pass S is only 440, or like S dribble is that step work thing is like really not that strong. So that's the reason why it ends up to be like this. But unlike Matsuyama, I think blue Misugi, there wasn't many blue Misugi in the past. I think the last good blue Misugi was 2018 Misugi. That's like, that released like more than a year ago. Yeah. So it's really old. So for Matsuyama, like I said, you have to make up your mind whether to use Fess or this Matsuyama. But for Misugi, you don't have to worry about that. But one thing you might have to worry is, because this guy can't do defense, you might have to sacrifice some characters. Some characters will have to go to bench, and you have to think if this character is worth putting that other character to bench. Yeah. So that is Misugi. And on the very right is Izawa. This guy, he has auto intercept and has 100%. So anytime ball passes above him, he's gonna come out with his skill, right? And his interception is 10,900. This is not bad, but I wouldn't say it's good either. And because his interception skill this time, it's not bad. 465 isn't bad, but he doesn't get any passive boost, so it only ends up to be like a little bit above 50k. So I don't there are ways to dodge these intercept enhances, right? Especially when the overall stats isn't that high. So I have to say, this guy himself is not that great. Of course, auto intercept enhance is useful, right? Because sometimes people forget that Izawa has auto intercept and just try to pass through this guy, and this guy will activate. But that's good, and it will make the opponent do their. It's gonna be harder for the opponent to play, right? That's for sure. But I think what's most important about this character and what makes him so strong is the hidden ability. It's red Japanese auto intercept and has 20%. This is insane. This is gonna be really, really annoying. It's gonna be really annoying, because everybody that has skill interception will activate their skill but with 20% chance, right? And there's already many characters that have auto intercept, like Tachibana or Aoi, or I forgot who, but there's some, right? And these guys, like for example, Aoi has 50%, but with Izawa it's gonna be 70%. So there's gonna be more chance of Aoi coming out with that skill, right? Which is really annoying. And all the other characters that don't have auto intercept will have 20% chance of getting, doing it. And there's many good defenders in red Japanese, but are now not being used because they're inside masters, like Dream Collection Jito or 2097 Misugi. These characters are good, but because they're inside master, people hate to use them for some people, because they're really weak against field passes, right? But with this Izawa, even these characters, interception might activate. So that's gonna be something really annoying. So field pass for red Japanese against red Japanese is gonna be really hard. Yeah. And Izawa, there's no like sacrifice, like I said, from Matsuyama. I think there's no red Izawa in the past, first of all. So it's the only matter is to decide who to take out instead of this Izawa that you're using already. So yeah, that's Izawa. I personally think, if you think about the sacrifices and everything, I think this Isawa might be the best character this time. Yeah, that's how good I think this guy is. I mean, his hidden ability is. So, that is it for the field players, and this is last, Morisaki. So on the right is this time's Morisaki, on the left is 97 Super Sub Morisaki. So their stats are really similar. Super Sub Morisaki, if he comes out from second half, his catch will be 13.8k. This time, if the opponent is non-Japanese, his catch will be 14k. So the difference is only like 200, right? So it's like the same. But the problem is, unlike Super Sub Morisaki, if this guy faces Japanese, he's basically dead. Yeah, look at the bottom. Where it's colored in red. If you put Dream Collection Morisaki's SGGK 485 to this character and 97 Super Sub Morisaki, they each will be like this. So against, if their passives are on, 97 Morisaki is like 67k, whereas this time 68, so 1000 difference. That's like not big, right? But if the opponent comes with Japanese, it goes down to 6,000. 6,000. Today with 6,000, it's just too tough. It's too tough. I don't think he can stop most Japanese forwards. Yeah. And that's when you're putting SGGK, not this time's main skill. If it's this time's main skill, it's gonna go down like 1,000. It's gonna be on the 59,000s. Yeah, without the passive, that is. With the passive, 60, almost 7k, that's not bad. But I think with like this type of passive, he should have had better stats at the end, because we all know many people are using Solidarity today, and those who are using Solidarity is already putting like both Japanese and non-Japanese, or at least on bench. They have someone to bring, right? So if people know that you're using this 2006 Morisaki, then people are gonna start using non-Japanese for sure. I mean Japanese. And this Morisaki is not going to be able to take that, for sure. So it's not good. And I have I'm a bit like annoyed by the way they brought this Morisaki this time. That is, why does this guy have G23 12% team skill when all the other three characters have the Solidarity type of team skills? I don't get this. I mean, of course, there's many Japanese, so maybe there's still more Japanese to come, so they can't use this Solidarity slot for Morisaki or like Wakashimazu last time. Maybe that's the case. But why do they have to make this Morisaki? This Morisaki is like compared to so people are pulling the gacha, right? And it goes up to 6, and at step 6 there's a 1 slot guaranteed where you can get 1 out of these 4 characters. That's good, but because they made this Morisaki so shitty that there's no good point about getting this Morisaki. So people who got this Morisaki, like me, will only have like a really upset feeling towards Clap. Don't you think? If I was Clap, I would have made this guy have the Solidarity team skill so that you can balance it, all the characters. So think about the user's feeling, man. What happens? How are you gonna take care of people who only got Morisaki, huh? If he's like really, compared to all the existing top tier goalkeepers, this guy's not good, you have to admit, right? And this guy's team skill is bad too. G23 12%. That is so not good, because there's already Japanese 12%. Like Aoi, Akai, Misugi, these characters have it. Matsuyama, right? And this is limited to G23, and it's the same 12%. It doesn't make sense. And even if you are to come with like Japanese, today 12 is not good enough. You have to make it like 13 or 14 even. So it doesn't make sense. If it is to be G23, they could have made it like 14 or even maybe 15, because it's limited to G23. And today, Solidarity G23 has 17 plus 2%. So I think they could have made it 15 even. This 12 is like it makes me feel like this they're doing so many mistakes recently that this might be a mistake. That's how bad this guy is. So I just don't understand why Clab sucks so much at making balance, you know? Why do they have to make something really bad? That way, people that got only Morisaki will be super upset. There's no good point about this Morisaki. I don't think I'm going to be using this guy, to be honest. So, and his team skill, if it was Solidarity, he could have been on bench. And we could have used him, you know, with Nita. But they made Izawa have it. Izawa already has inability, but they made Izawa have it. That does not make sense to me, to be honest. So, anyways, I hope you liked the video. Please do subscribe for those who haven't yet, and stay tuned for more. Thanks for watching, and bye!